Welcome to Warrington and Vale Road College. You will find in the first week of your course that you'll receive a very quick induction, which basically covers all the key health and safety aspects of the course, as well as gives you some general information about studying at the college. So the first thing to notice on this slide is that it states the name of the course you're attending, and it also states the tutor's name, and it also gives you a little reminder just to put your phone, if you can, on silent, because it's quite common to get a lot of disruptions in the form of like WhatsApp notifications and stuff during the sessions. So that'd be quite, considerate if everyone could do that without sort of being reminded each week. It's not a major issue normally, but it sometimes can be distracting. So everything which is provided to you is either provided, if you want to, using what we call the Google Classroom, which is a freely accessible and open environment where resources are uploaded by the tutor, and you can get access any time of day or night. You can also comment and communicate with your tutor and other members of the cohort using the same Google Classroom. As well as that, for the last year or two, we've also brought in a sort of online folder structure where people can get access to all the basic resources. It doesn't give you the same, features as the Google Classroom does, but it does give you direct access to the individual files. Videos such as this, for example, will be on there, as well as all the resources, links to various websites and what have you we've used during the course. So, a few little bits of information in regards to enrolment and checking that you've been fully inducted is to make sure that you are actually enrolled, and that's easily checked by the tutor. They will make sure that you're actually listed on the register. So the register will normally be taken at this point, if not already taken. You'll be provided with a RAPA, which we're going to discuss at the end of this video, which I'll talk you through in just a few minutes. You'll also be provided a blue card. Now, the blue card just lists all the information you need for health and safety reasons, as well as giving you sort of general information about the college and contact details, etc. So there's a lot of information on there. We ask you to read the card once you take it home so that you're aware of all the various bits of information you need. And the blue card also helps us to limit the length of time of the induction. Otherwise, we'd have to sort of cover the various aspects which we put onto the blue card, which are not as critical as the basic health and safety we do here. You'll also be given a large A4 green card, and we ask you to bring these in each week. These allow you to put your name on the card, nice and large, so everybody can see it even from a distance or even the other side of the room, and everyone knows then each other's name. It's good for the tutor, obviously, because we have quite a number of students, and it's always good to have a little reminder of people's names right in front of you. And it's also good to be able to communicate with others by knowing their name. So it's a nice little touch we provide, but we do need you to bring them in if you can each week. So going on to the fire safety and the various procedures, should you ever hear any of these alarms. Slightly different with the two campuses, but I'll cover the Warrington campus first. So the most important alarm of all is the continuous alarm. So I'll play that so you can hear exactly what it sounds like. Sorry about that. The continuous alarm, I actually ran it into the intermittent alarm for a minute there. The continuous alarm basically will run continuously so that you know that it's a real event. There's sensors in every room, such as smoke alarms, heat sensors, things like this. There's also fire alarm buttons throughout the building. And if those correspond with an area which has, for example, fire, then the alarms will actually sound. Until that actually happens, then you may receive an intermittent alarm, which is the same noise, but it stops periodically. And that basically allows you to be informed that there's possibly an incident, but at that stage you stay within. And the main reason for that is it's safer for you to be within the building and stay in place than it is to start moving. And if necessary, fire safety monitors will come to the room and ask you to leave, but otherwise we stay. Obviously, if you are in the process of leaving the building with a continuous alarm, we ask you to leave all not only your valuables, but things like bags, anything at all you don't actually have in your hand at that time, which you can take with you, to actually leave it along. And we also have refuge points for anybody who's either in the wheelchair or has low mobility. And those refuge points are at the stairwells at the top of each stair. And what will happen is if there's an actual event, the fire brigade will come up through the stairwells and to clear those of anybody who's there who feels like they can't make it down the stairs. Also good if you feel a bit unsteady on your feet for any reason to stay in those stairwells. They have independent ventilation, so they are reasonably safe to stay in the case of a normal fire, and therefore they are the best option for you to stay in for your own safety. Let's say in Winsford, it's slightly different. We just have the continuous alarm, so it will sound just in a sec, but I'll clear it very quickly. So it's exactly the same. Winsford also has, in the stairwells, it also has ventilated refuge areas for, disabled people or people with low mobility. So the college facilities, when it comes to parking in Warrington at the moment, as you're probably aware, it's quite a busy campus. We've got a very limited spare car parking ability. There is an additional car parking area we've purchased and developed over the last few years, which is at the rear of the building, for which you find the signs to illustrate where to go. And we ask you, if possible, not to park in areas which are not marked bays, so only to park in marked bays only. There is additional, parking for people with blue badges, and we ask you to keep them clear only for people with blue badges. And we will occasionally come around and put notes on cars asking you not to park there if you have parked in such a bay without displaying a blue badge. And also to keep, public access available throughout the campus. There are defibrillators in all the reception areas, as well as in Winsford. There's also a public defibrillator outside the actual entrance, and you can see a picture of it there. And now we're going to look at RARPers, and the RARPers will be provided to you by your tutor. And I'm going to give you a quick rundown of how you use the RARPer, which is a live document we use each week. You guys will be expected to fill it out on the back, and also tutors will also provide comments, appropriate comments on there as well. Just a quick introduction to your RARPer. Your RARPer will be given to you each week by the tutor. Unfortunately, you're not allowed to take them home because the back has to be filled in each week by the tutor themselves, as well as by you at the end of each session. So here you see the front page of the RARPer. On my version, it will already have your names printed and possibly your student number. It will have details about the location of the course, your tutor, the date of the start of the course, and likewise the end, how many weeks it runs for, the name of the course, and the course code itself. The section at the top we only do as part of the induction. So as part of the induction, we cover the course aims just for these first boxes here. These boxes are basically how you feel you are at the start of the course. So it's only for you to do at the start of the course, and it's your assessment, your own personal assessment. Now, what I always explain here is if you want to use a 1, which means you can't understand or can't do that particular task, that's probably the most sort of honest approach to this. People feel for some reason they probably need to, feel more confident and maybe go for a 2 or even a 3, although you're only technically allowed to have a single 3 out of the 5 individual areas we cover. The reason for that is, of course, if you've got 2 or 3 3s, then you've done more than the minimum requirement to achieve the next level up or to progress onto a high level course. So we ask you then maybe to leave this course, but then to carry on to the next available course at a higher level. So here you just simply, and it only takes a few seconds, just simply look at the information provided. Make sure you read all of it, because if you don't read all of it, you might just assume the bit in bold is the bit you need to look at. So creating files and folders might seem okay, but identifying online safety methods to demonstrate how to take and do a screenshot may not be something you're familiar with. So that might be a 1, but whereas you may have gone, well, I can do files and folders, that could be a 2, even a 3. And you do that likewise with all the various five course aims, and you put those in there. So at this stage, you've already got your name on the top of the document. You've now then the basic course assessment at the beginning of the course. This normally takes place as part of your induction. You then have this section I'll come back to, and I'll show you what's on the back page. The back page of the RAPA has your weekly log, basically stating what you've done and also any areas you wish to improve upon or remind yourself and even me of things for the future. So, for example, you'll see that on the first column under heading date, I've already populated the actual date of each session. And likewise, under topic, I've said what we're going to do for each session. Occasionally, this can change, but I'll try and keep that, if possible, in that order throughout all the courses. Your section is this middle section here, and it's entitled Learner Comments, and it suggests that you put in what you've done or what you need to develop. I often say expand upon that, put as much detail as you can into this section. It's good to remind yourself there and then by writing it down. It actually helps you remember what we've covered. As well as that, you can also take that as an opportunity to remind me or even tell me for the first time things which you want me to know about. That could be any reasons or any issues you're having during the session, or it could just be, little comments like, you're happy with what you're doing, you really enjoyed this. It could be anything, you choose to tell me. I then each week take these away, and under tutor comments, I then put individual comments, which are unique to each and every individual. So that obviously takes a bit of time, can't be done there and then. So I normally tend to do them with a nice little cup of coffee in the staff room following the session. And that's it. That's your RAPA, and that's basically the process which you follow for the induction. One final comment towards the end of the course, or the last week of the course, I will ask you to complete the RAPA. So basically what you'll do at that point is you'll complete the end of course tutor assessment. So I can do that as well, but if you're available, I always prefer if you individually do this yourself. So by this stage, you will have your numbers 1, 2, or 3 in there, and then you can decide how much progress you've made since the beginning of the course, and now you're at the end of the course. Also, you'll be asked to, at the end of the course review, the phrasing is not clear on this. So the phrasing says, have you developed your skills, knowledge, and behaviours to meet the course aims? In other words, have you actually achieved enough of those that you feel that you've completed the course? So I'm assuming that most people put a little tick in there or type the word yes, whichever you prefer. And then finally, and only one of these needs to be ticked, by the way. It's very important, only one gets ticked, but you tick whichever is appropriate. So it could be that you feel that the outcome of the course is that you feel more confident, or you feel that you've developed skills for further learning, which you can use in future. We get a lot of students who attend other courses within the college, and their IT skills, for example, need to be improved, so they come onto our digital skills courses. Skills for work, essential skills, and so on and so on. And it's your decision which of them is the most appropriate, which is the most, overwhelming outcome of the course. And understandably, everyone feels that there's probably a few which apply, if not many, if not all, even all apply. But we just ask for one and only one. And that's it. Your induction and general information about the RAPA, etc., is now complete. Thank you again for studying with us, and we hope that you enjoy the course.